Hi, and welcome to this week's Stalking the Wild Autoharp. And we're going to talk about banjo rolls today. And that was a little example of what you can get into when you do banjo rolls. And today I'm going to teach you, it's basically one motion that can be used in different ways by turning it forwards and backwards and inside out to create a banjo sound on the Autoharp. And I'm going to teach three different rolls, and the third one is a foundational pattern for the next thing I'm going to teach you next week, which is Travis picking. And we'll get to that later on, but I'm going to talk about the basic motions here. And it's really easier to teach than it is to do, and it's not that hard to do. It's just a matter of working it in slowly. I'm going to take my picks off. I think you'll be able to see my fingers a little bit more clearly without the picks to start out with. All it is a motion up and down and back and forth between three fingers. We're going to use these three, but I find that I also substitute in my ring. Okay? But for now, let's just talk about these three, okay? And you start with your thumb. Go to the index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb. Now you're not doing big long strums with the thumb. You're just plucking one or two notes. And this it's almost like little hills. They climb up and they go back down, and they climb up and they go back down. Slow it down even further. Now, if you're ever trying to learn something and keep it in rhythm and you're having trouble, I suggest finding a word that has the appropriate number of syllables for your strum. And while you practice, say the words. I don't know what it is, but there is a connection between the mouth and the tongue and the fingers. And in India, where they have very complex rhythms, they insist on teaching you rhythms mouth first. They teach different syllables for different lengths of time, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, whatever. And you have to be able to say the rhythm before you're allowed to play it on your instrument. And then you say them together. Instrument and voice together, and keep doing it, and keep doing it, and keep doing it. What I'm going to suggest for this one is rutabaga. Okay? Rutabaga, rutabaga, rutabaga. It could be anything. Winnebago, 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 Winnebago. Autoharpist, autoharpist, autoharpist. Whatever you can say, and you can keep saying as it gets faster. And you may think this is silly, but I'm going to lean long and hard on this. Keep saying the words, even after you think your hand has got it, okay? And then back off gradually. Start with saying the words, and then just mouth the words. And then stop mouthing the words and just think them. And if you ever come to the place where you're starting to mess up the rhythm, slow it down and go back to saying the words out loud. This stands for learning any pattern. Okay, now let's talk about the second banjo roll. It's the same as the first. It's just upside down. Start with your middle finger. So you've just turned it upside down. You're going middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index. And you can still say rutabaga, 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 autoharpist, autoharpist. And you're going to work that in and get it faster and faster till you can do it pretty darn fast, and you'll amaze your friends because it sounds flashy and your fingers are flying and people can't tell what you're doing. Now, in doing that, obviously I'm pinching the melody. And then I go to the banjo roll to fill in. If you don't know how to pinch melody yet, go back to the melody playing video where I talk about pinching. And banjo rolls will often incorporate quarter notes with the thumb or pinches. Okay, so there's two of them so far. We've got starting with the thumb and starting with the middle finger. And you'll notice they sound almost the same. And that's because really they are. Because if you take the first one and you go thumb, index, middle, by the time you get to middle, you're starting the one that comes down. Like that. And so they're really just different halves. It just depends on where you start. And you can also start on the index. And just work on them and work on them and work on them. Be relaxed. Take it easy and get faster and faster and faster with it. And pretty soon you won't be able to say rutabaga that fast. Rutabaga, rutabaga, rutabaga. So you go silent. And think it out. Keep thinking the words until they drop out and your hand knows how to do it. And this is all heading someplace else that we're going to come to in a few weeks, where we take all of these different strums that I've taught you and start mixing them together. Because really they're just ingredients in a big recipe that's going to come out later, where your hands know what to do once you've learned these basic strums. We'll get to that later. The third one that I want to teach today is the beginning of Travis picking, or what we call Travis picking in Autoharp land, but it's not real Travis picking that a guitarist knows. And there's a reason for that, and I'll get to that next week when I teach it. But the way this goes, it's also a banjo roll, or can be. Start with your thumb. You're going to go thumb, index, thumb, middle. Now, a lot of you already know how to play like this, where you're going up with your thumb and down with your finger. And that's half of it. Thumb, index, thumb. And then you go middle. Thumb, index, thumb, middle. So if I take the thumb out, my index fingers are walking like this, with thumb strokes in between. Thumb, index, thumb, middle. to get the rhythm strong, say rutabaga or autoharpist. Rutabaga, 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 rutabaga. And this is actually pretty easy once you get it also. Which is almost too fast for the camera to catch exactly what's going on. But that's what I'm doing right there. Notice my wrist is turning slightly, which is really my elbow. I talk about that in another video. And my hand is shaped roughly like cupping an orange. Fast again. And as you can move up and down the harp. We're going to take this little piece, this thumb, index, thumb, middle, and add a couple of other little things to it to turn it into Travis picking, a la Meg Peterson. And that actually sounds like this. So all I'm doing is I'm adding 2 thumb strokes before it to turn it into Travis picking, but we'll talk about that next week, just all on its own. So there you go, banjo rolls. A little bird flew the window and more. Open up the window, let the dove fly in. Now I get ready, there's coming a storm. Open up the window, let the dove fly in. Open up the window, Noah. Open up the window, Noah. Open up the window, Noah. Open up the window, let the dove fly in. Sounds fancy, but it's really easy. It's just a matter of getting that little rolling pattern down and speeding it up until you can do it really relaxed. Do it while you watch TV. There's no rules that say you have to sit there and practice it with a metronome and get gradually faster and faster and faster and faster. You can, if you want to, but really what that does is it makes your mind focus on what you're doing. And the more your mind is involved, the less you're letting your body just do it. And your body's not going to teach you until you let go. Your body will know this before you know that your body knows it. And when you realize that your body knows it, like your body knows how to ride a bike, you don't have to think about how to do it anymore. And once you started relaxing, then it just flows. And that's what this is like. Any of these strums is like that because you just forget about it. So that's why I say, practice it while you're watching TV. Just sit there. And when all of a sudden you find yourself doing it and you're not thinking about it, then you've got it. And it's the same with these other strums. And once you know all the other strums and these, and without thinking about it, then all of a sudden your body is going to start mixing them and matching them and throwing them in, because it knows how to play any rhythm that you can think of or not think of, any rhythm that you feel. It knows how to produce once you know these rudiments. So that's where we're going with all this. So thank you for watching this edition of Stalking the Wild Autoharp. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, because you'll get all the latest posts. I try to post once a week. Remember my Autoharp CD that is out called Autoharp Revealed in Cloud, and that's available through my website, www.halweeks.com. You can get digital downloads of it over at Bandcamp. You can get CDs through my website. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with some Travis picking. Bye-bye.